Welcome to the episode of Career Juice, where we talk to real people with real jobs and get all the juice that it takes them to succeed in careers that they chose. I'm your host, Tiffany Yard, author of How to Wine with Your Boss, and the owner of Moto Vino, an education platform that pairs professional development and training with fun programs in wine. You may have seen my next guest singing the national anthem at Yankee Stadium a few times on live television. Today we're talking to Makia Brown, police officer and vocalist. Let's get started.
Make a really great case for, the inclusion of a person of color within the ranks of any said, organization that works to uplift communities and protect communities. And knowing that the places you serve, people should look like you. So when you're talking about the work that you're doing and being that person who's in the gap,
right.
What does that feel like?
We want the world to be a better place. We have to start with our community. And the only reason we can start with our community is if we give out the type of energy that we want back,
Right, for sure.
I guess excitement for change because
you are the change.
Yeah, putting in the work in for the change, and with people seeing me, I guess they get excited too. So it's excitement all the way around.
I feel safer immediately.
Thank you.
I appreciate that you kind of alluded to the point that it's not always about responding to a crisis.
Right.
It's about just engaging the community.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So what does that look like on a day-to-day?
Okay, well, engaging the community. Well, now I work nights, so
it's a whole different type of engagement.
It's a whole different type of but I would just give you two because I'm in two different types of units. And patrol, me engaging the community is I'll stop in the 7-Eleven. I'll say, what up? Hey, how you doing? That's called community policing. And I'll just ask them, is everything going on in here? Are you okay? And they will feel relieved with that.
So that's a normal thing to just come in and ask questions.
Normal thing for me. In regards to the ceremonial unit, I sing in certain places as far as schools. I'll do the national anthem, or I was in the band at one time, so I played this alto saxophone in the band.
You were applying for that role. When you were applying to get into the ceremonial side of the department, was that something hard to do? Were there some politics you had to navigate?
Well, it was divine destiny. I didn't know they had a ceremonial unit when I joined the department.
Oh.
There was a sergeant in the police academy. He came into my company. When we go through the academy, we are in companies. And he came into my classroom. He's forcing one person out of each company to sing the national anthem. I'm because you know me, I've sang all my life. Yes. So I said, you know what, Sarge, I will do it. And don't force anybody in my company to do it. I'll do it. I had maybe 6 months on the job. And from there, I was a part of the ceremonial unit. And it's been great since then. I've traveled.
For sure. I love looking around to the baseball games and saying, oh my God, Where else do you perform?
Well, they have a band. And within the band, I've been to different countries. There's a World Police Conference every year. So from the World Police Conference, we did Vietnam, Japan, Singapore, Indonesia. Those are the countries I've been to. But the
World Police
Conference. Yeah. So that's another big thing too, because now you're meeting people from Russia, police officers from Russia. You're meeting police officers from Japan. Even though we don't speak the same language, we all do the same thing. So you'll have a common ground. It's well, police. That's the same. It means the same thing in every country. The common ground that we have is that we were police officers in music,
That is so dope.
That was that's a plus about being in the ceremonial unit. We also, and when we're in those countries, we go to schools out there and we play, we volunteer and do, do different things for different schools out there. So they're seeing different types of people as well, where certain communities really never saw a police officer that looked like me. Now they're seeing a police officer look like me.
You've seen more people, women and women of color coming through the ranks more now than ever?
Yes. Since I've started in 2012, from then to now, yes, a lot more. Because they are seeing people, and we have so many women chiefs within the department, and they can see like this is a career that I can grow.
So what do you say to people who are scared? People who say, well, if I cross this blue curtain, this blue veil, what's it like on the other side? Will I be welcomed? Will my opinion matter?
Well, that's why we have organizations. Like once you join, I mean, you feel welcomed, but you can feel more welcomed if you join an organization. So we have organizations within the department that we have the Guardians organization, that's the organizations for African American people. We have the Hispanic organization, we have the Dominican, we have all types of organizations where, okay, so if you're not feeling too comfortable or whatever within your precinct, you can go to your organization, and your organization is people that are like you.
It gives you a safe place.
It gives you a safe place.
Kind of from your own tribe.
Right. I received cop of the month, but to get cop of the month, there was an incident where my partner and I received a call of a suspicious male in the area looking into vehicles. So we're first on scene, and we see the guy physically breaking into a vehicle. So I run out and get him. A little later, other sectors, which are other police in the area, they came and they helped us out and stuff like that. And he was arrested for breaking into 7 vehicles in that area. And then he also was further arrested for, I think it was multiple vehicles that he broke into in the month of November, the prior year before. Now you have to put your training in use, right. And that's like, and then when I went home, because now you have to do the arrest processing, and that takes a long time. So I was in the precinct for like almost a whole day after that, because now this guy just broke into 7 vehicles. Now I have to make an arrest report for each person that their vehicle was broken into. So
oh my God.
It takes a lot of time,
There's no one to delegate that to? No, I'm kidding.
I wish, I was the delegate. I was Brooklyn, They're like, how you know?
I've been in these streets.
Right.
I know what it is.
How you know he was doing that? I was like, I grew up in Brooklyn. I don't be playing with these people. They're crazy,
So what happens when you get a phone call that says, all right, oh my God, there's loud music, someone's having a good time? How do you deal with those?
Well, what it usually happens is it goes to 311. It's called a loud noise complaint.
Oh, so it doesn't require a call to 911.
Well, some people do call 911, and then 911 refers it to 311, because it's not like it's an emergency, because it's a complaint that the person has, but it's not a high priority complaint where somebody is being hurt or something like that.
It's not a critical issue.
Right. So it's referred to 311. We respond to the 311 complaints through the system that we have connected to 311. It's a computer system that we have. So we check out the complaint. We usually talk to the complainant. That's usually the person that called, if they're not anonymous. If we live in New York City, so we just have to coexist with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't physically go in somebody's apartment and rip their speakers out. We just have to ask them nicely, can you please turn down the music? You don't want us here. We don't want to be here all the time,
Right, there's more important things we're dealing with. Right.
Not even that. In cases, it's just like, you guys live together. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, you guys live next door to each other. You're going to have to see each other. If it's a neighbor dispute, then it's best that you work it out between you guys. I grew up in an all African American community. It wasn't diverse. College I went to was a historically black college. I had the first Caucasian president. She was Albanian, and she was the first white female president of the student body president of the historically black college. And she was my roommate at the time. Yeah. And a lot of times they don't know a lot of city, things. They're saying this, they mean this.
Yeah, and it's definitely not something that will cause hostility.
Right.
It's just something for you to understand.
Right. It's just something for you to understand. Like, when I first started and I was in East Flatbush, I would have like little seminars on the corner, because I'm like, all right, gather along, guys. Come on. this is how you approach a situation and not kind of get yourself into any trouble or stuff like that. Like if you see this building, or if somebody's saying this means that, and a little street.
Love it.
Like example is working at East Flatbush. We had a ban on grilling on the sidewalk. We grill on the sidewalk is because a lot of times we live in apartment buildings, and our apartment buildings don't have backyards, or we don't have access to the backyard. We only have access to the sidewalk, you know?
So that's where it's gonna happen. That's what
that's
cookouts
where
happen in the front.
Cookouts happen in the front. A lot of people that are from Suffolk and Nassau County, they have backyards. So they would not understand why people grill in the front. I just don't understand why this person would grill in the front. They just explained. I was like, well, a lot of people grill and do things in the front yard or the sidewalk because they don't have access. And then you're like, you sit down and think about it, it's like, that's so true. You know, like, I've had a backyard all my life. You know, some people have had backyards all their lives. And land where they could just run and roam free, you know, like we're running up and down the street, the sidewalk, you know, like riding up bikes in the middle of the street and worrying about like cars. And we have a different type of stuff to worry about. And then if you explain to a person that's never been in the area, because how are you going to police the area if you don't understand like just the simple basic like structure of the area, you know?
That's right.
And every community has its different types of like structure, like different types of codes. Like, you know, East Flatbush is majority like West Indian, and they have their culture. And within the West Indian culture, we have like Haitian, we have Jamaican, and then all that culture is different. You know, like Bed-Stuy is mostly African American now, and like
it's quite gentrified.
Yeah, you know, well, you know, before it's mostly African American, and then within that African American community, now we have people that's from South Carolina. We have this person, you know what I'm saying? So this person is different from. So you have to have that one person, which is the community affairs officer usually. People that are not from our community, they need somebody to say, you know what? And then I mean, like, what I've noticed is once you've worked in a community so long, a sane person will get like, you know what?
You'll pick up on the things.
Person is not bad. Oh, this is just how they operate. Or, you know, like, we're just gonna, before it even escalates, we're just gonna stop
but
this.
They have to want to.
They have to want to. That's the biggest thing. Is they have to want to. I mean, and I've seen in the line of work that I do that it's like 3 steps. You're very eager to learn, then you're just stressed out. As far as the community, I think that's why I said we need somebody probably to talk to vent to, because a lot of times like they think police officers don't need anybody to talk to, they're not human, so they don't need. So I feel like that middle like area, if you like, you know, vented and talk to people and stuff like that, then that ending part right here where you're just frustrated with everything, you probably
don't get there.
Yeah, you probably won't like, you'll probably won't reach that area. We had like some type of job related like person that just came in every 6 months. They'll like talk to you and just like, oh, like what are you thinking? What's going on? Like how do you feel your career's going? Like just relax. You know, just like how we're talking here.
Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of thing that you would encourage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I challenge you to create a proposal and give it to our wonderful mayor
or the police
and our commissioner.
Yeah.
To say, hey guys, this would be helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll talk off. Think about the people who, and then again, I have family who's also in the armed services. And so people who are in the service business, you know, I always have a unique lens in that, you know, yes, there are bad apples everywhere, but there's so many good people doing good things every day that they have to be talked about. Not just in a newsletter or some press release for, you know, lip service, but to really hear the stories. But I feel safe and I know that there's people who are working on my behalf on the days that I don't even know what's going on for the wildness of what this city offers. offers the ugly side of the sea that no one ever wants to really talk about. Thank you for all that you do.
Oh, you're welcome.
Means a lot, seriously.
Thank you.
And gotta remember that when the craziness happens and the stuff you see on the news and how, we magnify so much bad and the institutional problems that come with that. Now that policing has changed and had to evolve with society, being able to speak into what it used to be and to what, that truth to power of what it can be now. So, again, thank you. Wine as a vehicle is similar to football, similar to any type of sports, and they disproportionately exclude women.
Right.
Unless I'm here picking out draft picks with you, or I'm part of the brackets for March Madness,
and I have no idea what I'm picking. I'm just picking
just to be down. And you're like, well, wait, can it be something that I'm actually into? Not everybody's into the same things that I am. So let me see what this wine thing's about.
And wine can be universal.
It's also yet another thing where there's not enough people that look like us making it, doing it, which is another conversation in itself. But things, there's been strides. I figured since our meeting is so early today, it'd be fun to put together a little Prosecco with some orange juice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so what you'll find is that there's some effervescence. It's not like champagne or other types of traditional method wines where the bubbles are fine, they last long. It doesn't last too long, but it's value. It's made from the tank method. So tank method is basically they add the fizz before they put it in the bottle.
Okay, so how do you add fizz?
So fizz is called a secondary fermentation process. So when they trap carbon dioxide into the liquid, and so it transforms into bubbles. When you pop it open, obviously the pressure is there and all that.
So that's why I didn't do like the boop,
it wasn't that crazy. Right, it was a little boop.
That's how I knew it was gonna be good. That's how I knew. I was like,
honestly, you should not shake up a bottle. To be perfectly honest,
that's what
add to the festivity.
I
get no judgment. I'm here for
two
it.
different types of, I'm here for
it.
It's like, and then it's like, boop, it's fine, depending on where you're at,
Time and place, absolutely. But it's tasty, it's wonderful, apple pear, a lot of melon, citrusy vibes, so it goes great with the juice. Yeah. And it's cheap, so because it's cheap, you can certainly mix it with
cheapest
beverages.
for me.
Yeah. That's a little Prosecco for you. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Makia, for all the wonderful time that you gave us, all the juice on what it takes to be an awesome police officer, how to really engage the community and to make a difference each and every day. Tune in every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for more career juice. Talk soon. My glass is empty, but we'll cheers anyway.